Okay, today we're going to talk about ridge lines. You got fixed ridge lines, adjustable ridge lines. In the adjustable you have UCR ridge lines and Whoopie Sling ridge lines, and we're going to talk about what the ridge line is for and which type would be best for you. Okay, so a fixed ridge line is what it means by fixed or adjustable is the length of it. And a fixed ridge line has two loops, one on each end, and that's it. It's not adjustable. It's the length you make it, and that's why it's called a fixed ridge line. Most ridge lines are about 110 inch for 11-foot hammock, are about 110 inches. The general rule is the ridgeline length is supposed to be 83% of the length of the hammock. So an 11-foot hammock, you have 83% of that is 109.56 inches, so it's always rounded off to 110. And what the ridgeline does is it creates the sag in the material, and that's what allows you the flexibility to turn sideways. If it wasn't for the ridgeline and you just pulled the straps tight, then it tightens up the whole hammock and you're laying in there crunched up like this. Having that fixed ridgeline allows that sag in the material, and that gives you the room to get diagonally. A fixed ridgeline is great for hammocks with bug nets on them, because if like for example, when we make unless somebody specifies they want a different length ridge line, when we make a hammock with a bug net on it, we make a 110 inch ridge line, and then we make the bug net to fit that. So if you put an adjustable ridge line on that hammock and made the hammock longer, now you're going to stretch the bug net and everything, and then probably at some point tear and rip the bug net. And if you made the ridge line shorter than that, then you're going to have a lot of sag in the bug net material. I know this is not a bug net, it's a top cover, but the same thing. And if you made the ridge line smaller, then the material is going to sag more, and you're going to end up with the bug net in your face and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I don't, and most of the other companies won't either. We don't put adjustable ridge lines on a hammock that's going to have a bug net on it, because you know, you're going to end up with one of the two problems. You're either going to make it longer and stretch the rip the bug net, or you're going to make it shorter, and then you're not going to be happy because the bug net's going to be on your face all the time. So that's a fixed ridge line, and that's what a fixed ridge line is for, is to create the sag so you got enough material there to lay diagonally. And that's why we put a fixed ridge line on a bug net. And now I'll talk to you, I'll show you a couple of different adjustable ridge lines, and why somebody would want an adjustable ridge line. And I'll start out with one that's made with a Whoopie Sling. So as you can see, if with the ridge line and the straps tight, you got all this sag in this material so you can get in there diagonally. And if you've never watched any of my videos, you know, just like clockwork, when I start filming, the wind starts blowing. So typical. So this ridge line is made with a Whoopie Sling, but first let me tell you why somebody would want an adjustable ridge line. Is like I said, the general rule is 83% of the length of the hammock. But some people, and like I said, it comes out on an 11-foot hammock, it comes out to about 110 inches. Some people prefer a shorter ridge line. I don't know very many that prefer a longer ridge line, but some people prefer a shorter. Like my wife, she's more comfortable with a ridge line that's 108 inches instead of 110. Sometimes just that little, you know, making it an inch or two shorter can make a really big difference in how the hammock lays and everything. So that's one reason somebody would want an adjustable ridge line. Say they bought a hammock, especially one without a net, and they want, you know, they want that set at something different than 110. So this is done with a Whoopie Sling, and let me bring you in here closer to show you. Okay, this isn't going to come out very good. You're not going to be able to see it very clearly. But the one thing I don't like about the Whoopie Sling, and I'll talk more about Whoopie Slings. I'm going to do a video later about the types of suspension, and that's what a Whoopie Sling is usually used for. Instead of tree straps, you could use a Whoopie Sling. One thing I don't like about it is they have this really long tail on them. I usually put it down at the foot end if I'm going to use it, that way it's not in my face. But it's got what's called a berry here, and then all you got to do to, it's kind of like a Chinese finger cuff, and all you got to do is kind of loosen this up, loosen up the berry a little bit, and then you can slide this in and out and make it shorter or longer depending on what you want to do. And then you squeeze and what's called milking the berry to tighten it up. Like I said, this is just really quick on it. I'll go into more detail on a Whoopie Sling in a later video. But as you can see right here, if my shirt can contrast it a little bit, this is the berry, that little section right there, and then this adjusts bigger or longer. So like I said, one thing I don't like about using a Whoopie Sling for an adjustable ridgeline is it's got this long tail. The other thing, because it's so easy to adjust, once you milk the berry and you're using it for a tree strap and you got the tension on it, it's okay. But to take something like this, when you're putting it in and out of the stuff sack, then it can loosen up on you, and then your settings are all messed up. And if you like your hammock at 108 and you get in it and now it's not comfortable, you can't just get it just right, and you find out it's actually sitting at 111 or 104 or something like that. That's one thing I don't like about the Whoopie Sling for an adjustable ridgeline. And that brings me to another point about ridgelines, adjustable ridgelines, is some people, see, when you set it up, a hammock, you're supposed to set the tree straps so they're 30 degrees. I got a video on how to properly set up a hammock, so if you want to see that, it goes into more detail. It's raining. When you set up a ridgeline, you're supposed to, set up your hammock, you're supposed to have the straps at 30-degree angle, you're supposed to have tension, just a little bit of tension on your ridgeline. Some people want an adjustable ridgeline because instead of trying to fiddle with the straps and getting the straps right so the tension is right, what they'll do is they'll just throw up the straps any old way, and then they'll adjust the ridgeline to get the tension right. Well, that totally changes how your hammocks land. Like I said, some people are comfortable at 110, some people are 108, 109, more comfortable. So if you're just throwing your straps up in the tree and then just adjusting your ridgeline to get the tension right, you got a totally different it's going to lay different every time, because your ridgeline is going to be totally different lengths every time. And that's like spending a night in a different hotel every night. One night you might go in there and be nice and comfortable, a nice comfortable bed, and then the next night you might get the cops caught on you because you're ripping out a 4-story window. It's just never the same every night. So am I right and those people are wrong? I'm not going to say that, but I don't agree with that. The idea of the ridgeline and having it set to a specific length is to give you that maximum comfort. If you're just adjusting it willy-nilly just because you don't want to mess with the tree straps, you're going to get, one night you might be super comfortable, the next night you might be just miserable, so I don't agree with adjusting the ridgeline. If you're going to set up your hammock, do it like I did in that video, get the tree straps right, and when the tree straps are right, the tension on your ridgeline will be right, and you don't have to adjust that. So this is the wind and the rain and everything else. So I'm going to take these two down. I'm going to set up a different type of ridgeline and show you that. So let me show you something. If you already have a netless hammock and it's got a fixed ridgeline, and you're kind of curious to see if a smaller ridgeline would work better for you, one thing you could do is take a carabiner and wrap the ridgeline around a couple times. And you could do 2 wraps, 3 wraps, whatever, but every time you do a wrap, lay in a hammock, see if it's a little bit more comfortable. You might find that 4 wraps, man, that's a really sweet spot. 5 wraps is too much, whatever. And then after that, after you find that nice spot, or you might find making it shorter didn't make it better, it was better the original length. If you find doing a couple wraps makes it more comfortable, you could do one or two things. You can leave that in place and use it to clip your flashlight or some other random stuff like that, or you can measure the length of the ridge line from one end to the other, and then with it like that, and now instead of being 110 inches it might be 109 or 107 or whatever, and then you can order a fixed ridge line that length, and same thing with if you know for sure that a shorter ridge line or a longer ridge line is more comfortable for you, and you're wanting to order a hammock with a bug net. If you tell us the length that you want the ridge line, then we can make a hammock with a bug net with a ridge line that long. That way you don't have to worry about tearing up the bug netting or having it sag on your face. So that's one little trick you could do to see if a little bit shorter ridge line is more comfortable. Now let me show you this type of ridge line here. It's this is called a UCR ridge line. It's an adjustable ridge line. I'll show you a little bit more. What this is it's got two pieces. In this case, it's the black rope and then the orange rope, and they're woven together inside of there. And this is adjustable just like a Whoopie Sling, but it has a prusik knot on there, and that helps hold it in place. Remember earlier I said that with the Whoopie Sling, putting it in and out of the bag all the time, it can make it mess up your adjustment. But with the prusik knot on the end of the UCR, that makes it hold in place better. And we have a separate video on UCR ridge lines, which I will show you. I will link to at the end of this video. So this, if you're going to make an adjustable ridge line or going to order one, this is a lot better than the Whoopie Sling, I think, because it stays in place better. And you could also customize it more, instead of, because we have 5 different colors to choose from for the ridge lines, whether fixed or adjustable. And with the UCR ridge line, since you're using 2 different ropes, you could really customize it and get it 2 different colors. And that, for my wife, is why she did this. She does sleep more comfortable with a 108-inch ridge line, and we could have just made her a fixed 108-inch ridge line, but she's got some black on the hammock, and then it's got orange thread and orange little carabiners clipped here, and a couple other little orange things throughout the hammock. So she did it mainly for customization, and also her continuous loops are black and orange too. So to really customize it and tie it all in together, that's why she went with a UCR ridge line, so she could have the 2 different colors. And that's a reason why a lot of people choose a UCR ridge line, just for the customization. But it's just an option. So that's it. A ridge line, whether it's fixed or adjustable, is designed to give you the sag in the material so that you can lay diagonally. Fixed ridge line, I would definitely go with a fixed ridge line if you have a hammock with a zippered bug net. And if you got a netless hammock and you choose to go with adjustable, you could do the Whoopie Sling, but the UCRs work better. And then if you want to try it at home, if you don't have a ridge line at all on your hammock, you could use some 550 cord or something else like that. Keep in mind though, 550 cord, that paracord will stretch, so you might start out with a certain length, but after you lay in it overnight, it's going to be longer than what it is. That's why we use Amsteel or Zing It. That thin line on a Whoopie Sling was Zing It, and this is Amsteel, because they really don't stretch. Once you get them made, that's it. So that's it. Just a little video to help people kind of understand some of the components of the hammocks, the ridge lines, and why somebody might want an adjustable versus a fixed ridge line. And it really can make a difference. I know several people that prefer either 109 or 108 inch, and I've messed around with that hammock with that Whoopie Sling. I've tried different settings, and man, just an inch or 2 can really make the difference in the length of the ridge line. Could really make the difference in how the hammock lays. If you have a fixed ridge line and you've never tried an adjustable, or never tried varying the length on it, it might be something you might try. You your hammock that's already comfortable might be even better, if you try to tweak that a little bit. And as far as ordering ridgelines, there's plenty of places you can get them. We make ridgelines too, both fixed and adjustable, and we have different color options available. And you know, if you're looking for something different, just let us know. Let us know what length and how you want it made, and we can do it for you. I hope that helps somebody, but I got to get all this stuff taken down because the rain's not holding off much longer. So thanks for watching. So if I were to give a suggestion on whether you should go fixed or adjustable, my suggestion would definitely be fixed, because even the UCR ridgelines, even having the prusik nuts on them and everything, there is still a possibility that it could slip a little bit, and you know, you find yourself in your hammock and you had it set at 108, and now it's not quite as comfortable because it slipped a little bit and it's 109 or 107 or whatever. So that would be my suggestion. Experiment, figure out what length is going to be the best for you, and then order a fixed ridgeline. That's just my personal preference. When we measure our ridgelines, whether they're fixed or adjustable, they all have a loop on the end, on each end. And when we measure our ridgelines, that we go from the outside tip to the outside tip. So if you're looking at something fixed, adjustable, whatever length, that's how we measure them. So if you tell us you want a 108-inch ridgeline, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going from one outside to the other outside.